Hi, I'm John Fraser, the Polaris Travel Experts YouTube channel, and welcome to this edition of Live on Location Tours, where we're going to be taking you around the Caribe in Cancun, Mexico. Come join us. Here we are at the Caribe in Cancun, Mexico, and this property was actually refurbished in 2023. They shut it down for a number of months. We're here in the lobby. If you're watching this on a 360 video that we do, you can spin the camera around. If you're watching our live on location, I will be setting the focus for you. So over to the right is where you'll check in. You can see it's pretty open and it almost has like a pyramid structure. If we look forward towards the sports bar straight ahead, those are actually hallways for rooms up there. It can be a little noisy. I love this resort, but it can be a little bit noisy sometimes. I think that's why, because the sound just kind of echoes up out of here. You have the lobby bar over to the left. We're out early. We try to get out early so we don't catch a lot of the kiddos in our films. So we're gonna go straight outside right now. We're gonna go through the sports bar. The sports bar is open 24 hours a day. Of course, you have the bar over the left, you have the screens. And then you have pool tables over here. And you have the food over here. So there is food out at all hours. You can get hot dogs, you can warm up sandwiches. There's fruit in here. You just warm them up in the microwave. And they also have some pastries, some nachos. There's your ATM over there to the right. We're gonna head out here. So this is, I would say, a medium-sized property. It's not too big, which is kind of nice, easy to get around. But it's also not too small, so there's plenty of things to do. Grounds are well kept. This is probably a good time to talk about room categories. So you get around these palm trees here. So you can either pan up or I'll pan up for you. You can see there are some suites over here on the ends, and then there's a lot of ocean view. The ocean views are the ones that are gonna have the small balconies on them. And then there's other room categories that can get you the suites with the bigger balconies. This is Land over here. So there's 4 pools here. This is one of them. This is the kids' pool right here. So coming up over here, you have Scuba Caribe. So you can book some excursions or dives, morning. And then you have your towel station. So they do use towel cards here. And at first I didn't like that, but then when I kind of thought about it for a little bit, I actually do like the towel card concept. And I'll explain why here in a minute. I want to point out though that there's a ramp over here. So they do a pretty good job of giving you ramps. So if you have accessibility issues, you're going to be in pretty good shape here. There's a ramp to get down to the beach. I didn't see beach wheelchairs out there. Of course, they're getting ready over here, so I apologize for the noise. But I wanted to point out, this is one of the other 4 pools. And it's kind of an infinity pool. It's a beautiful view, but you can see they actually have a ramp going down into the pool here. So again, if you have a shower chair or a water chair, you can get in there into the pool. You have at least an option here. Over to the right, you have the Tiki Taco, the Pepe's. It's open for lunch all day, pretty much. They have tacos here, tacos al pastor, which is pork tacos, beef tacos. They were pretty good yesterday. They have hamburgers and hot dogs. I didn't try those, but it's pretty decent bar food out here. Plenty of seating area. I've never had an issue trying to find a seat to eat. I think most people take it back to their chairs. We're walking through about 8 o'clock, and you can see that while some people will be out here early, throwing some towels on chairs and whatnot, there's still plenty of seating. So It's not one of those you have to get up super early to come down here and reserve a seat. You can come down at a normal time. Kahlo is the bar out here by the pool on this side. We'll come over here to the pool. Now this is a very popular pool. During the day, this is gonna be packed. They have the tables in here where you can get your drinks. Of course, one of our favorite things ever, I think one of the best inventions, is the pool bar. And so the pool bar is right there. The activity and entertainment team will be out here throughout the day to keep everybody fired up. And they'll have events throughout the day through here, music, that kind of thing. Back to the towels. I wanted to kind of make a point where I used to hate the towel cards, but they actually serve a practical purpose. In order to get your card back, you have to take the towel back. And if you don't, then you end up having to pay for the towel, at least in theory. I'm not sure if they actually enforce that or not. But what it does is it prevents people from just taking multiple towels and then going down and reserving multiple chairs that they're not going to use. So if you want to be at the pool, your towel needs to be at the pool. If you want to be down by the ocean, your towel needs to be down by the ocean. Because you only have one towel card, then it makes it a little bit harder for people to just take up chairs that they're not using, which then has the effect of making seating available for everybody. So there is a practical purpose. I'll walk out on the beach here in just a minute. You can actually see there's big piles of seaweed. There's not a lot of seaweed here. There's a little bit, but you can see that they are taking care of it. So we'll head out here onto the beach. We'll finish up our tour of the pools and then we'll go out to the beach. So this is the fourth and final pool we're going to talk about. See, there are a couple towels out on chairs today, but not too bad. Still plenty of seating. Again, 8 o'clock in the morning. To the right, you'll see there's the buffet. The front half of that building and seating area is the buffet. The back half is the steakhouse. Food has been really good here. Outside of just a few places, overall I've been really impressed with the food. Been really excited about it. More seating area over here. If it is crowded, this area over here tends to not be as crowded. Morning. So you can find a seat over here a lot of times, and I do like that they have a lot of umbrellas out because I'm a shade guy. I like to be in the shade. I burn easily. This building you see in front of me, this is a really cool venue. And it's the door's closed now. We'll try to get in there later. So I'll cut this out if we are able to. Otherwise, you can check out our 5-minute review. We've got some pretty cool videos of that. But this is a whole area here where there's a pool in there that's like only about 2 feet deep. There's a second pool that's an infinity pool that looks out. They have a stage in here. This is where they have the parties, and they have huge parties here. Foam parties, there's entertainers all over, dancers, DJs, bands. They go all out for these parties, and a lot of them are themed parties. So you may want to check before you come down, get on the Ryu app, and see what theme parties are going to be going on while you were here. I think there's going to be a white party this week. There was a jungle party the other day that we went to. So you may want to check out and see what the themes are so you can be fully prepared to get your party on. We're going to head down to the beach here. I went ahead and took my shoes off because the sand is really soft and it's really deep. So you kind of sink in, and it's a little easier to walk barefoot, I think, out here. So feel bad for this guy over here carrying these tanks in that wheelbarrow. That is a tough job he's got this morning. As a dive master who carries a lot of tanks, I don't think I'd want to try to wheel that wheelbarrow through the sand. Okay, so over here So this is an example over here of one of the piles that they've made where they're cleaning up the seaweed here. It's not the sargassum type seaweed, it's just, I guess, normal seaweed. I'm sure there's a botanist out there that would have the scientific name for it. But you can see they have jet skis here. These are gonna be for an additional cost. There's kayaks. And there's a pier that you can walk out on. You can actually, I believe, reserve those cabanas for dinners. If you pan your camera to the right, you can see there's disco balls, and that netting kind of gives you some shade during the day. That whole area there is the party area that I was talking about earlier. Now this bridge here is kind of the dividing line between the Rio Palace and the Rio Caribe. I know the Palace can come over and use the Caribe facility. I'm not sure if it goes the other way, but I'll tell you what, I've never had anyone out here. I walked over actually, and no one's ever stopped me and had me come back. So I think maybe if you try to use the restaurants or whatnot, you might get a little pushback over there. But as far as the beach goes, beaches in Mexico are public, so you can walk down the beach if you would like. So one of the other things I really like about this beach is how many palm trees there are here, because that gives you the option for shade during the days. And there's just something about sitting on a beach underneath a palm tree that I think appeals to me and a lot of other people. There's this cool, I don't know what you would call this, heart-shaped structure. It's a good picture spot. Again, and I'll point it out again because it's worth mentioning that there's plenty of seating. So if you're one of those like me who you hate, trying to find a seat, or you have to get out, you hate having to come down early to reserve one. I came out yesterday about, I don't know, 3 or 4 o'clock when I got done working, and was able to find seats. Now, maybe not right in front, but I was still able to find some place to sit, read a book for a little bit, and just kind of relax. So over to the left, you have the Water Sports Center. In case you want to go snorkeling or scuba diving. I also have a great scuba diving hookup that is right across the street from here. So if you're in one of our dive groups, this is probably the first place I'm going to recommend you stay. You see the sand volleyball here, and up ahead you'll see a red flag that says it's dangerous right now to swim because of the wind. Normally this beach is very swimmable, and a lot of times you'll be able to swim over here when you can't swim in the main hotel zone. That's because out in front, you probably can't see it right now, but it's Isla Mujeres. Yeah, so it can kind of give some shelter to this side. And then, we're kind of, Cancun hotel zone makes like a 7. We're at the top of the 7. So you get a little bit of shelter a lot of times from that. So you don't see red flags over here as much as you might see them over in the other part of the hotel zone. I mentioned earlier that all beaches in Mexico are public beaches, and that's good and bad. It's good because you can go for long walks on beaches and you're not going to get turned back, but it's bad because anyone can walk along the beach. So there are some vendors that will come over here, but it's not annoying like I've seen in other places. It's not a constant, they're constantly in your face. You can't even, get through a few pages of your book before somebody else is coming up to you, or the same people are coming up to you, just making sure you didn't change your mind and want to buy their souvenirs. So that is one small drawback here, is that next door is kind of almost, it's like an empty lot type of a deal. And I don't know if these are condos over here or a small boutique hotel, but it's very easy for people to enter right over here and come over. Again, haven't seen anything that would cause me to be concerned about safety or anything like that, but just know you may have one or two vendors throughout the day come up to you trying to sell you a bracelet or some other kind of souvenir. Point out one other thing while I'm over here. There are just a couple swim out rooms. Looks like 5 of them. And that's what those look like, at least the swim out portions of them. One other thing I want to mention is that while this is a family-friendly resort, it is kind of a party resort. I would be comfortable, probably not during spring break, but I would be comfortable other times of the year bringing my kids here. I think they'd have a ball. They're all teenagers now, so they would definitely love the party in there, the big parties that they're having. But if you're one that wants just kind of quiet relaxation, you know, they shut down the steakhouse last night and my room was right above it. They shut it down for a wedding reception, and it went on to about 11, and then they shut it down, but it was pretty noisy. So if you think you're gonna go to bed early, you might have some issues with the noise. After about, I don't know, midnight or so, it kind of calms down. You might hear people walking through the halls, that kind of stuff. You'll hear that anywhere you go. But just be aware that it is going to be more of a fun party place, and but yet still kid friendly. So okay, so we're going to head off the lobby here. Most of your restaurants are going to be down this hallway. So I ate at the Culinarium. I can't say it. Last night, very good. That's going to be your culinary place for you foodies. They have some pretty interesting dishes in there. So over to the left is Margarita. This is going to be the Mexican restaurant. Again, it's closed because they're not in the morning. Over to the right, we have Calypso. Calypso is your main stage area. I'm not sure if the video will come out when I go in here because it's pretty dark. They had a mariachi band in here last night. They have different acts in here each night. There is a bar in here. So over to the right, we have Shangri-La. This is the Asian restaurant. And then straight ahead, you have the buffet, Coral. Buffet is actually pretty good, the food here. I've eaten here for breakfast, and every day the breakfast has been really, really good. So we're gonna take you through room 539. Start out here at the closet. It's not very big, but that's okay. It gets the job done. I know that's exactly what everyone wanted me to start with, is the closet. Here's the other side of it. Big enough to throw a suitcase in and hang some clothes up. It's a pretty casual resort, so you don't need a whole lot of nice clothes. I do like this room. I like how the toilet is separate from the shower in here. So you'll see that. It's a pretty nice room. This resort was updated within the last year or so, or last 2 years, I should say. So it does, the rooms kind of feel relatively new. They're very clean, very updated, very spacious. This room, the other side of this, so I face the ocean, but the other side faces the street, and it's not too far from the lobby, so this room can get a little noisy at night. It was fine. I put on some white noise, and I slept great in here. But you can also see this as a double. It's supposed to sleep 4, but these beds are, I'd say say they're more twin size than double bed size. Really kind of the only drawback though. The couch does not pull out in this particular room. Somewhat limited outlets in here. So you may want to bring a power strip. You have a nice TV over here, some drawers. And then of course, one of my favorite features, which is the self-serve alcohol that you have here in the room. And then you also have down below a refrigerator. Dos Equis is the only beer that came in here. I don't know if you can request additional beers in here, but you got some Pepsi products and water as well. Nice little sitting area over here. Again, the room's really nice. This one, I know this is gonna sound silly. I really like the curtains because the blackout curtains, they're on different tracks, so they overlap. And it's gonna get really, I'm probably gonna lose my video. But it gets really, really dark in here because of that. And you just lost all the light. But yeah, so that's really nice in the evenings because there are lights out here. Last night they had something going on the beach and they had some colorful lights that were coming up here. It didn't really bother me much, especially when I closed the door. You don't get a lot of noise from this side of the building, so they did a good job with insulation over here. You can see I'm out here on my balcony now, and the watercolors are just amazing here. If you're watching this in 360 on our 360 videos, you can spin the camera around. I should have mentioned that earlier. If you find yourself staring at my feet, you control the view. But yeah, that's just watercolor. I can just sit out here all day long and just stare at the ocean. I love the colors of the water out here. You can tell this is somewhat of a party resort, so you're gonna get some noise from the pool during the day, but when we're in the room, you can barely hear it. But you can definitely hear how loud it is out here now. Again, it's a small balcony. There are larger balconies. Again, if you look up to the right, you can see a lady cleaning over there. Those are gigantic balconies. They almost like wrap around. Same on the other side, and you can see just on the other side of where I'm at here, very large patios, very large balconies there. So there's different room categories. Work with your travel advisor if you want that bigger balcony. But I will say, like, these here in the front are gonna bump up to the lobby, so you probably want to be on a higher floor because there was a lot of noise coming out of the lobby last night. Thanks for checking out this episode of Live on Location Tours. If we've inspired you to travel and you're not already working with a travel professional, consider giving our team of experts an opportunity to help you plan your next great adventure. We don't charge for our planning services, and all our suppliers match their online pricing. If you're enjoying our videos, be sure to give us a like below, but better yet, subscribe so you can stay up with all the latest and greatest content. Until we see you again, travel and be well.